Hello learners, today's our lecture is on models for supply chain management integration. It is this session is for the MBA students, MBA of Logistics and Supply Chain Management and MBA in Operations Management. Both the programs, this course is common for both the programs. So both the students can view the lecture, and you can also ask any questions on the screen giving numbers, and so whatever the doubts you are getting, you can also note down, and you can also send through my email address, or you can send through my WhatsApp number. So today we are going to discuss about models for supply chain management integration. We have already learned about the logistics management and supply chain management, and now we are going to discuss about the integration of supply chain management. So how to integrate, what are the advantages of integration, what are the models of supply chain integration, these things we are going to discuss today. So first of all, the main objective of supply chain concept is to integrate and synchronize the service requirements of the customer with the flow of materials from suppliers in such a way that any conflicting or contradictory situation rising can be balanced out. So what it says, the supply chain management, mainly we have to reach to the customer in time. So for that, it has to be, various models has to be developed. So for that, there may be some conflicting. Some customers wants they want high service. So for that, the manufacturers may not provide that, or low inventory. They want to suppose the manufacturer wants to maintain the low inventory. If they maintain or invest low in the inventory management, actually what is inventory? Why we have to keep it the inventory minimum, or we have to keep the inventory more or less? So such type of conflicts will be occur between the supply chain partners. In the supply chain partners means in the supply chain, suppliers are involved, manufacturers are involved, and customers also involved, and in between the transportation systems, warehousing systems, storing systems, and so all the players are involved in this supply chain efficiency improvement. So for that, there may be some conflicts occur. So what for the conflicts occur? So customers want, we want these materials by this time itself, and with this much of quality. The quality materials has to be sent. What the manufacturers, what they have to do? They have to provide their materials within time, whatever the time frame. So such type of conflicts, to avoid these conflicts, the supply chain integration is very much important, and the integration should be how, what are the various types of integrations that we will learn. So to the supply chain objectives, what are the integration objectives? Which are high customer service, low inventory investments, and low operating cost. So what does it mean? The high customer service and low inventory means ultimately the low operating cost will be taken place. So that is the main motto of this supply chain integration. Wherever, because the customers are like that, the what you can say, that if a company is not providing in time their materials or for their production, or the ultimate customer also they are not able to provide, means the customers will they won't come again to the same company to purchase the whatever the item. It may be watch, it may be car, it may be computer, whatever it may be. So that type of supply chain integration is very much required. So here these have to be balanced or promised, and therefore various models have been proposed over the years in order to integrate the SCM systems. So for example, Stevens model that was developed in 1989, which proposes a balance in supply chain involving functional trade-off. SCM revolves around efficient integration of suppliers, manufacturers, warehouses, distributors, and stores. So all these are to be effectively integrated so that the information will reach within in a streamline. So whenever the customer places order, it has to be informed to it's not only informed to the manufacturer, it has to be informed to the suppliers also. So that is the in this models we will learn about the Stevens model that was developed in 1989. The main challenge being coordination of activities within the chain and across it for improved performance, reduced costs, increased service levels, reduced bullwhip effect, resource utilization, and effective response to market changes. So, what are the various challenges in the supply chain integration? It has to be improved performance is required, reduced cost of the overall cost should be reduced, and increased service levels has also to be increased, and reduced bullwhip effect. This is already we have talked, but what is bullwhip effect? He means, so suppose a manufacturer, he has produced their materials and is keeping in the stores for n number of items without knowing the demand. So that is means, so where the materials are piled up, produced and piled out, but the demand is not coming. Then what happened after 1 year or 6 months? It will become old or obsolete. So that the cost will be more. So the same materials will not be sold out. So because of that, the bullwhip that is known as a bullwhip effect. We will produce the materials, but demand may not be there. So because of that, that is known as a bullwhip effect. And resource utilization. Another is resource utilization should be effectively utilize the resources. It may be manpower or materials or machines. All the resources should be effectively utilized and planned, and effective response to the market changes. So what happened? The market changes occurs because the demands are changing, the requirements of the customers are changing every day because of technology or information technology. So demands are the demands are changing within I think minimum times, or within with a no time. Sometimes somebody wants with only suppose if it is a car. In the car, nowadays because of information technology, more features they are asking. So that is according to the demands of the customers, the manufacturer has to mold their manufacturing system, and they have to fulfill the customer requirements. So in this model, the Stevens model, it is developed by Stevens in 1989, and he says that there are different stages. That is, development of an integrated supply chain requires management of materials and information flow be viewed from 3 perspectives. One is strategic level, tactical level, and another is operational level. So integrated supply chain, the integration of supply chain and demand chain can seen from 3 angles as follows. One is strategic level, and tactical level, and operational level. Here we will discuss about the strategic level. What should be the focus at the strategic level? What are the objectives and policies for the supply chain, and how can they be developed to achieve competitive superiority? So competitive superiority is very much essential. So that's why it is one of the question in developing the strategic level. In the strategic level, then only they have to decide. It has to be more competitive in the market, in the competitive way, and it should satisfy more customers. So in that way, how the company should be superior to other companies. Then how to develop a physical components of the supply chain. So how to integrate and develop the physical components in how to integration of the various partners, how to integrate. So for that also the physical components has to be developed. Then how to develop the statement of the customer service intent by the product market, customer group, or by large customers. So one word, the statement is customer service. How much customer service is required? Customer service point also decided. The statement, one statement has to be developed before integration of the integration of supply chain in the strategic level. So in this Stevens model, it is having 4 stages. So integration of supply chain in the by Stevens model, it is having 4 stages. That is, first stage 1 is baseline, elevation, principally technology based. Here what happened, the purchasing department, materials control department, production department, and sales department, distribution, all works, but individually their work, only purchasing work they will do. Whatever they want, if they get the order, so that much order only they will purchase, and they will keep. But they don't, whenever the requirement comes, then only they will supply to the then materials control department, then to the production department. So like that, it is individually. The manufacturing department, they work according to their plans only. They don't even means ask, or any problems are coming, they don't inform to these things. So like this is in the first stage, the all departments will work individually without having the knowledge of one knowledge to others. So like that, so this is the baseline, elevation, principal, technology based. Then comes to the stage 2, where functional integration takes place. So functional integration, elevation, organization based. So in the organization, it is the purchasing and materials will be integrated. Then again it is named as a materials management. Then production department or manufacturing department, it is same. But then comes to the sales and distribution. They make it, both the departments, they will make as a one element, as according to the function. Both the sales and distribution function is similar, so they are integrating, or they are making it as a one in the functional integration. Then comes to the internal integration. Internal integration means, so the internal departments. So the production department, in the production department, there are various parts has to be produced in various stages and various plants. So those can be integrated. So in the first stage, and the second stage, it is external integration also. So means external integration means integration with the customers and integration with the suppliers. So both total, this is known as a total Stevens model of supply chain integration. In this model, all the suppliers also integrated, and then manufacturing plant also integrated with the customers as well as the suppliers. So why? Because of integration, because of linking the functional areas to each and every one. If a customer places order, that immediately reaches to the external reaches to the manufacturers as well as suppliers. So means one order came, so suppose a order comes for producing a computer having various parts, chips, and all the various parts are there. So all the parts will not be manufactured by a single company. So it has to be some raw material has to be supplied by the suppliers, and the manufacturer has to produce the computers, and then it has to distribute it through the various transportation methods and storing methods. It will be transported to the customer. So but the information, because of integration, external integration, when he placed the order, immediately at that time all the supply chain partners knows about the demand. So accordingly, what they have to produce, they will produce. The production will start at that time itself. This is the efficient model to avoid the delays. So the same in the stage here, again it is explained in the stage 1. That is, stage 1 is a situation in which the company approaches the supply chain tasks in discrete decisions with a responsibility lodged in each of the task function because of organizational boundaries, preventing the coordinated decisions from achieving an overall customer service objectives. Here the functionally the discrete decisions are taking place, because the materials function will take place at materials itself, and the production decisions will take at the production shops only, and the distribution or transportation, their decisions will take place there only, but there won't be any integration between the departments. That is in the first stage. Then in the second stage of development is denoted by the functional integration of the inward flow of goods through materials management, manufacturing management, and distribution. The emphasis is mainly on cost reduction rather than performance achievement, and is focused on the discrete business functions with certain at achieving internal trade-off between purchasing discounts and inventory investments, and also plant operating cost and batch volumes. Customer service is reactive in this case. So here what it says, so in this stage the main work is not on the performance, but only it is on the cost reduction, how to reduce the cost by integrating which are the department has to be integrated. So some few departments will be integrated and the cost reduction activities taken place in this stage. So in the third stage, internal integration. Here in the internal integration, it accepts the necessity of managing the flow of goods to the customer by integrating the internal activities. In this stage, the integrated planning is achieved by using the distribution requirements planning, DRP, and JIT manufacturing systems. So this stage is essential for before the company can consider integrating customer demand in an overall demand management activity. Information technology is an effective enabler for this process. So in this third stage, the internal integration is taking place, where the different materials department will be, the suppliers will be very active, and the same in the same manner the manufacturing system also they very active, because they produce just in time itself whenever they get the order, and they will start the production. So this is the third stage. Then in the fourth stage, that is external integration. In the external integration, the suppliers, manufacturers, and customers all are integrated with the information technology, and the information will flow information flows from right side to left side, from the customers to the suppliers, and in the materials will flow from the suppliers to the customers. So here the efficient manner it works. The concept of supply chain management approaches enables a company to react effectively to market swings and changes. Here what it also says, that if any changes occur in the market, so that immediately one can incorporate in the production system, and even suppliers also, they can change their manufacturing systems and they can produce accordingly. They can supply the raw materials accordingly. However, in order to get the optimum potential, a connection and interrelationship between the components of supply chain has to be established, and an integrated chain formed for utmost customer satisfaction is arised. That is, cost effective products will be developed. So these are the 4 stages of a Stevens supply chain integration model. The supply chain strategies, the various strategies that have to be followed for an effective integration. So once you integrated, but effective integration is very much essential. So how for that also 3 models have been developed, that is push based supply chain strategy, pull based supply chain strategy, and push pull supply chain strategy. These three are the stages of supply chain integration strategies. So first we have to discuss about the push based system or push based supply chain strategy. Long term forecasts are to be backbone of a push based supply chain model as regards the production and the distribution decisions are concerned. Typically through the manufacturer based demand forecast in orders received from the retailers' warehouses. Therefore, it takes much longer for the push based supply chain to react to the changing marketplaces, which may lead to inability to meet changing demand patterns, the obsolescence of the supply chain inventory as demand for certain products disappears. So in the push based, earlier I told you about push based means the manufacturers depends only on long term forecast. They don't depend on the only demands. They analysis, they depends on the forecasts of the last year forecast or last 6 months forecast. So according to the last year's forecast, they will produce the materials and keep as an inventory. And what happens at that time, again bullwhip effect takes place, means the materials will be stocked in our stores, that may cost the inventory cost and storing cost, and if it is if the demand not at all arised in that year, so what happens, all the materials will obsolescent, the old material, it will become old, and the old materials has to be scrapped. A old product has to be scrapped. So that is the disadvantage of this push based supply chain, because without knowing the demand, the materials will be developed according to the forecast demands only. So that is the disadvantage of this push based supply chain. But advantage is in the next we will discuss. So in the push based, this is another one, push based only. So actually the bullwhip effect leads to underutilization of resources because of planning and managing is more difficult. For example, a production manager is in quandary as to how to discern production capacity. Should it be based on peak demand or an average demand? Similarly, it is not clear as to how to determine the transportation aspects based on average or peak demand. Therefore, a push-based chain, we find extra transportation cost, higher inventory levels, and higher manufacturing cost. Then comes to pull-based system. Then pull-based system, it is a demand-oriented pull-based system. The demand comes from the customers. So accordingly, the production will start. So there won't be any problem. Lesser lead times, lesser inventory at the retailers level as well as manufacturer level, and decreased variability. This is the advantage of pull-based system. But this is also having some disadvantages. In the pull-based supply chain, there is considerable reduction in inventory, enhanced resource management, and a comparable reduction in system cost to push-based system, as sometimes pull-based systems are difficult to implement when lead times are long and it is not practical to react to the demand information. These are the disadvantages in the pull-based system. But by taking both the advantages, pull-based advantage and push-based advantages of where the push-based advantage has to be taken, where the pull-based advantages has to be taken, by coupling these two, the experts have developed that the pull and push-based system, push and pull-based system has been developed and integrated. So with this, in the push-based system, okay. This is an ideal mix of both push and pull based strategy, in which the first half of the system is based on push method and the remaining half of the is pull based. So with this I think students, we have learned about the push based system and pull based system. Okay. In order to comprehend the strategy better, you have to consider the supply chain timeline. That is the time that elapses between procurement of raw materials and the delivery to the customer, the end of the time. The push-pull boundary exists somewhere in between this timeline and denotes the time when the company switches from one strategy to the other strategy. So, push-pull supply chain strategy. Consider one example here. Consider a computer manufacturer who builds a stock and thus makes all production and distribution decisions based on forecasts. This is push system. Whereas push-pull strategy is one in which manufacturer builds to order, which implies that components inventory is based on forecasts and final assembly is in response to specific customer requirements. So here what it means, in the pull based system, they produce the components or procure the components and keep at one place, and when the orders comes, then only they will start the production. So that is the push-pull based supply chain system. Therefore, the push system is prior to assembly and the pull system is starts with the assembling till delivery of the product. This push-pull boundary is prior to assembly. So with this, students, today we have learned about the Stevens model of supply chain integration, and then push-based system, pull-based system, and push-pull based strategy. 3 strategies we have learned. With this, I conclude here. If you have any doubts, you can also ask through my email or WhatsApp. Okay, thank you very much.